Story time with legendary Jerry. We are back as always with a true legend. This is my wonderful, beautiful Miss Co-host, Miss Jamie Page.
What up, what up?
And I am legendary Jerry, aka Big Jerry Clark. And this gentleman we have here, Jamie.
Legend.
Like we already had legends on this show.
Right, that is true.
This guy is the architect of the whole sound. I don't even want to pigeonhole him and just say Cash Money sound, but he's the architect of the whole sound and the whole movement. Everybody here live at the Swag Shop on Edgewood, y'all give it up for the true legend himself, Mr. Mannie Fresh.
Wow.
What's up, Fresh? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, bro. Good.
Man, let me say this, okay? I was talking to a well-known, world-renowned DJ, and he told me, he said, Jerry, when I do my sets, there are only a few producers that no matter where I go in the world, that I have to play one of their records. He said, Puff, Dre, and Mannie Fresh.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that feel, man? I mean, I'm talking about
It's mission
20
accomplished.
plus years later, man.
Yeah, that means mission accomplished. You know, that's what you want. You know, like to have something that sustained 20 years and it still come on and it still bring joy, still bring happiness, and it still make people go crazy.
20 plus years.
Yeah.
Man. That's some longevity in this game.
Yeah.
That's a legacy right there.
Yeah. When you first started off, when you hopped on that drum machine, did you envision it?
Yeah. I already knew this was this was destined for me. It was what I was going to do. Nothing else in between. This is what I was going to do.
This was it.
Yeah, this was it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
what age was that? What?
Somewhere around 10. My dad is a DJ. Well, my dad's a DJ. So I grew up around Marvin Gaye and everything, you know, and my dad was a street DJ. So I always got crazy songs and all of that kind of stuff, and you know, and everything that went along with DJing and all of that.
Go ahead, James.
I was going to say, so you just grew up with the turntable, so it was just embedded in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed you give a lot of props. I saw some old interviews that you did, and you give a lot of props to the instrumental speaking.
Very, very. You know, my dad saw it before I saw it. Everybody else was getting bikes for Christmas and all of that. I was
getting
keyboard,
keyboard.
turntable. So, you know, my dad saw it before anybody.
AV, Slim, how did that all come about?
Just from DJing in the city of New Orleans, and everybody used to kind of meet up at the same club that I was DJing at, and it was just, I had a friend that was kind of earlier artist that was on, his name was MC Heavy, big dude. He was one of the first artists that was on Cash Money. He was also the MC at the club where I was DJing at. So he was just like, you know, baby didn't want to meet you. I had already knew him from just like street ties from me DJing uptown, downtown. But I didn't know they was putting a record company together. You know, when we finally sat down and talked, it was like, hey man, we doing this record company. And, you know, we trying to figure it out, and everything that we doing so far is just wrong. We just throwing money at it and nothing is coming, you know, from it. And the first thing we did, it was a bounce song, and it jumped off on. And they had knew like right around that time.
What artist was that?
It was this dude on Lil Slim. Okay. And right around that time, that was kind of the birth of bounce and twerk. So they just knew I had this new thing that everybody was checking out. It was like this shit that Mannie Fresh is doing, this bounce thing, this twerk thing, the whole city is on it. So and I was like, well, if y'all go this direction, it'll be our sound, and it'll be New Orleans. It'll be, you know, let's first before we copy anybody else's stuff. Let's establish it. What's us?
And that was the whole world.
Yeah.
So walk us through, like, so from that initial meeting to BG, Turk, Weezy, from all that, walk us through how all of it became movement. I'm gonna say movement because that's what
kind of the artist was handpicked. It was more of it was a connection. Like everybody knew everybody. It was, you know, I knew Wayne's dad. Wayne's dad was like, he a young kid, he's smart as shit, trying to keep him off the streets. I know he had changed that.
He got killed, right?
Yeah. And so, of course, when I heard Wayne rap, I was like, oh yeah, he definitely did. he in, you know. And Juvie, we was on our way on probably going to the office. I think that's what we was either coming or leaving. Juvie was getting off the bus on his way to work. But I had knew him from my dad. My dad used to let Juvie get on the mic at his gigs. But I had already knew about Juvie, like, you know. So put him on the spot, and I was just like, hey, bro, rap some songs. Like, let me hear some stuff. And he just kept going on and on and on and on and on. So I was like, okay, you win. You know what I'm saying? You win. BG was a young kid that grew up with Baby Mill, but he had this street appeal. Like, you know, he just hung on the corner rapping, and all of the dudes that was in their neighborhood gravitated to him. They just, you know, he had this thing about, he had the streets, they gravitated to him. He polished it up, and I was like, yeah, you win.
You win
too.
Now, we had another artist that was a bounce artist, Magnolia Shorty. Magnolia Shorty had this song, Monkey on a Stick, right? But Turk lived in the same project as her, right? She came with him. He never left. You know what I'm saying? He was like, y'all not gonna get rid of me. He came in by association. He was just like, nah, y'all gonna put me in this group. I'm not leaving. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was the birth of the Hot Boys. The Hot Boys was kind of together before we even branched off and started doing, you know, everybody individually. But I was just like, because y'all all got 4 different identities, I think we can make this all groups. We can make, you know, like everybody can have their own identity, everybody can have their own thing. So we started out with the Big Timers. The Big Timers actually was the thing that got the deal, because that was already kind of popping. But lo and behold, Wayne, Juvie, and BG brought us into that rap world. Like, it was just like, oh, we really got some rappers. We got some dudes that can, some real lyricists. So then, you know, I do Juvie's album. This first one was Soldier Rings, and that went big in New Orleans. You know, and New Orleans took a, just took like, wow, like this is us. This, you know, this is, we arrived. Like, we got our own sound. We got good music. We got, you know, all of it.
Y'all had a whole movement.
Yeah. So before we even did the record deal, we had a movement. We had a movement where we was already doing like 100, 200,000 out the trunk.
Back in
like,
the South wholesale days.
Yeah. So, you know, so we was allowed to be a little cocky when Universal came. It's like, we really need y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Stay independent.
Yeah, we stay independent. So if it's not a good deal, you know what I'm saying? But I was already educated to a lot of stuff from my dad. My dad was just always on keeping music. No matter what happens.
Because from what it sounds, you was A&R, I mean, you just went through each artist, so you was already technically A&R.
Yeah, I picked the singles, every single that we ever had, pretty much everything. Like how we, when albums was gonna drop, who was gonna be next, pretty much all of it. Like, but I had already had experience in making records before I even did Cash Money. I was making records in the early 80s.
Oh. This nigga said the early 80s. Storytime with Legendary Jerry. We keep that on the show, Mannie Fresh.
I mean, he was born with music in his blood.
Damn right.
I mean, it was destined. What was it like dealing with like all those personalities at the time? They were all young.
Yeah, but I mean, just crazy as shit.
Yeah.
But the thing about it was, when you're young and you don't really have nothing, you eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we had friendly competition. I think that's what made Cash Money stand out, the friendly competition. The competition of, if Juvie did something incredible, Wayne was like, I'm gonna kill him. I gotta go rewrite that. I gotta go back and rewrite that and come back and smash it. That's what made it.
So did they have like battles in the studio?
Oh yeah, all the time. And if somebody didn't show up, man, it was a good day for somebody.
So who I won't say who's the best, but who won most of the
Wayne. First one there. That's one.
You know that answer.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to hear it.
Yeah. First one there, last one on the lead.
Lil Wayne jumped out.
Yeah.
When did you know that? When did you know Wayne was like? When did you
It was
when did you know he was that? He was like this.
When he first got here, one of the stipulations his mama was on, she was big on, he couldn't curse.
Wow.
She was like, you can't curse. You can hang around this and all of that, but you can't curse. And just the creative way he did it without cursing, like that stood out. You know, most people didn't even miss it. Nobody even cared that he didn't curse. You know, for years, he could not curse on, and he didn't on none of those songs. But his verses still came off, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he always made it up. Like first he started writing in his book. A little bit after that, it was just like, nah, I've been doing this long enough. I'm on top of the dome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And what wasn't such a friendly competition, from what I hear, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is the whole Cash Money, No Limit at that time.
Yeah.
So, as Cash Money is coming up, No Limit was already established in New York.
Yeah.
Multiple platinum records, gold records, you got Master P, you got Baby and Slim. Did they ever come to you and say, hey man, you that hot nigga, you need to come fuck with us?
Well, I was doing DJing for everybody. I even DJed a couple of parties for Master P before they even got on. You know what I'm
He knew
saying?
about you.
Yeah, he knew about me. So you know when they was doing certain, when they did the Bout It video, you know, this was before anybody even heard the song. It was a spot in New Orleans, the Riverboat Hallelujah, and I was DJing. I had sound. Yeah, it was really one of those. Yeah. So the crazy thing was I had to bring the sound, turntables, everything. I had to bring everything. You see what I'm saying? I brought everything.
So it never was a point where Master P and the No Limit folk, they never tried to pull you and say, man, come on, man.
I had because this was so crazy. The beef, honestly, was Baby and him. It was never the artist.
Some bullshit.
Yeah, it was never, because we all grew up together. We all DJed.
Did it start from some past street shit and just come up in the music
That,
shit?
none of us will never know. That's what's so crazy. Because you got KL. Me and KL DJed in the same club growing up. Me and KLC grew up, you know, Mia X.
Both the architects.
Yeah.
So there wasn't no beef with y'all.
No, it wasn't.
KLC.
Yeah, Mia X was in our group before they group. She grew up with us. You know what I'm saying? Mia X, before she even got on, she grew up in my neighborhood.
Oh, all right.
So before Cash Money, Mia was with us. Mac was a kid, you know, he was probably like 9 years old when I did his album, his first album. And you know, you could research this. It was us on the street call. He had a song called I Need Wheels. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was probably, and I did. And all of these kids was like, you know, so there was never no beef with the artist.
It was just at the top.
It was just at the time, yeah.
So they feel that being down the line. Like,
Yeah, because you know, when you want to be loyal to, you know,
Right.
it's my guy, like, you know what I'm saying? And what was so weird about it, it would be like, you know, if we had something going on and we saw each other, it would be this weird tension. But if nobody else was around, it was all good. You know what I'm saying? If I saw KL later on that night at a ballroom or something, we all good. You know, but it was understood that it was like, you know what, yeah, you got to keep up this little.
Did it ever get physical?
Oh yeah, it got crazy a lot of times.
Sure indeed.
It got crazy a lot of times.
Between the Cash Money crew and the No Limit crew.
Yeah.
You say one of us, this town ain't big enough for the both.
And you know, Cash Money, first generation Cash Money was just known for street art. We had some real
life
yeah, some real like laying down dudes. It wasn't just rapping, it was just like.
So then I'm sure when we get Master P on the show, when he comes on, he's gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
He has some real life.
Yeah, because that was the transition. You know, it was just like, listen, bro, come out the streets. This really gonna make just as much money as that. So it's hard to tell somebody like, bro, you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You got to get all the way in, or it ain't gonna happen. A lot of cats didn't want to do that. They was just like, nah, I want the safety of having the streets and.
So, Slim, man, a lot of us, I know folks here in the audience, myself included, we rarely see Slim. We rarely hear from Slim. Slim is the co-CEO, and from what I hear, he's very instrumental in the whole success of Cash Money. How?
Yeah.
Explain to us that, I mean, like I said, we rarely see Slim. We're not on social media crazy. But even years before social media, we didn't see a lot from Slim. We didn't hear. How instrumental was he in that whole?
Slim was more of a negotiator. You know, he was the dude that smoothed
He
everything.
came to the table to be
Yeah.
universal.
You sent Slim to go talk to your mom and them. They all
Deal
understand.
maker.
Yeah. You know, your mom and them going, well, how much money is this shit going?
Slim is that's when you bring Slim.
My boys gonna be running with y'all. Be like, man, let Slim go holler at him.
Compare Slim and Baby. I mean, we can see it from that, but being on the inside like yourself.
This is how I like the.
Yeah, how do you compare and contrast Slim and Baby?
Baby is the seller. Baby can make you think that y'all down like 100 points. You know,
They gonna come back and win.
Yeah, and it's 2 seconds in the game, and we gonna come back and win. You know what I'm saying? He had a word with, like, yeah, he could sell a hooker some cat. And you know what I'm saying? He's just like, God damn, bro, like, real shit. Like, he is the seller.
And with the mad personality, because I've been around Baby and I know Baby. Great personality, got the gift of gab.
Yeah.
You got Slim. A towering figure, gotta be damn 6'9".
Because you know, you got some people who, I've seen all of this before.
Yeah.
So you got to send Slim in there.
Yeah.
They just like, yeah, bro, that don't work. All of that you're talking about. So, you know, Slim was the dude who, he was the closer on a lot of stuff when it became, okay, your parents ain't with that, you know, that they ain't trying to hit it.
So when it came down to business with the cash money, who would you rather have dealt with?
Slim, by far. Really? Yeah. And I, you know, me and Baby was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like this, but Slim by far. Because it's like this. I don't think real shit that Baby is a bad person. I just think that he does not understand that street rules don't apply to business. Yeah, street rules don't apply to business. Yeah, he come from a street mentality.
And he still carries that over to business. And that could be a gift and a curse.
Yeah, and it's just like, bro, we doing real business right now. We're not doing, you know, I think it was probably, it wasn't a record so much. It was just a transition to start to understand how to do it. Like when you just like, oh shit, I know how to make beats. Like it was just like, that shit felt like, okay, this is the next stage of this shit. Like, you know, it wasn't a record, it was just the idea of going, yeah, like, okay, shit, you got a drum machine, now you got a sampler. Now you got something bigger than that, like to say like, oh, this is getting bigger and better. Now you can do so much more.
What was that moment like? It was just like, yeah, I'm the shit. Like I know.
Oh, probably Bounce. Like when Bounce came along, like you know when I started doing like just my own little thing, and it became like this craze, and it was just like I was like, okay, yeah, this is my shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like most people don't get a chance to say, this is mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? You'll have a movement, you'll have something, but when you got a category and you can say, that's mine, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, I think you put it in again.
Yeah, hey, and you definitely put it in again.
Whoever you work with did.
Shit, they
Who's
dead.
Matt?
They all dead. Marvin Gaye is gone.
Nah, it's some young niggas I ever seen, man.
I can say damn near anybody, bro. You gotta impress me though. It's gotta be.
Who you listening to?
I still listen to old school shit though. I don't listen to too much new shit.
What new cats jump out at you that you really fuck with?
Dude, I don't really listen to them, you know. I gotta play them records almost every night in the club. You see what I'm saying? So I guess by me playing them so much, it's not so interesting to me. So it's not like they're not good records. It's just like going, if I'm DJing somewhere, I gotta play that record. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I hear it all the time. Sometimes I just wanna, after doing that, hear something that makes me say like, oh shit, this dude was deep. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you hear Marvin Gaye, what's going on? Like, you know, like, this is a timeless record.
So
like,
is that your release? When you're finished DJing, is that your
come down? That's my startup and everything. Before I DJ, I'll sit in a little room before that and play old school R&B all day long. And it's like, okay, now I gotta go out here and trap it out. You know what I'm saying?
So when you you know, of course, Lil Wayne got his Young Money crew, Dre, Nicki, he never hit you and said, hey man, I want you to come here.
Yeah, I did 2 songs on Wayne's album.
I'm talking about from the rest of the Young Money family.
No, because you gotta look at.
He knows from the beginning.
No,
he knows Mannie Fresh is that.
Yeah, but this is what a lot of people didn't know. Everything that happened with Wayne, that recently happened, with him getting his loot and all of that, that's been going on. You know what I'm saying? And me and him being brothers, you know what I'm saying? Wayne has been on the struggle trying to get his business straight and maintain. Like,
10 years.
Like he's like, bro, I don't wanna expose, you know, business because I'm trying to, you know, figure out how can we work it out. How can we work it out, you know, without it getting to this. You know, and that was probably the right thing to do. If you're a family, you want to come to somebody and say like, listen, bro, before we air out our dirty laundry, let's fix this. Let's fix it.
Before it gets out to the rest of the world.
So it wasn't like I could have said, bro, I can help you on something that, you know, he really didn't have it.
That's true.
He really didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? When it all came down to it, it was more of, it's an imprint. Like, you know, and it's just like, well, damn, I gotta get my paperwork right.
And it's still up under
Yeah,
cash money.
exactly.
Universal family.
Yeah.
So in a way, not to be funny, in a way, he was still kind of handcuffed. I hate to use that. But
So
he
he
didn't have
was-
as much as what people think.
Yeah, he was trying to get his
Still up
business
under-
straight.
yeah.
So it wasn't like he could have called me and said, hey, bro, I need you to work on Nikki, I need you to work on Drake. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he was still trying to figure out, how can I lock down Nikki and Drake?
Y'all hear that? Mannie Fresh, Storytime with legendary Jerry.